What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel, and it's over for another season in the Champions League. Bayern 1, Arsenal 0. A lovely Joshua Kimmich header was the only difference between the two sides, but it was a lackluster performance from us. It was a tired, fatigued-looking performance. We didn't have any imagination going forward. Our passes weren't on point. We lacked incision, and, well, we weren't clinical at all. And really never really looked like scoring, which is a deep frustration. I can feel the knives already coming out, and the people who are ready to call for Arteta's head, the players that are getting lambasted now across social media. Where was Bukayo Saka? What happened to Kai Havertz? We need a striker. All the same tropes about Arsenal coming to the fore. And I know how it feels. It's so disappointing to come this close against a Bayern Munich team that really should have been there for the taking. They had injuries to key players. It's hard to explain what went wrong because, as I said, we really never looked like scoring. That game could have gone on for a lot longer, and I still didn't feel like there was a chance we were going to win it. Of course, there will be lots of analysis of why it went wrong. My theory, for what it's worth, is that this is another April. Really, it's down to the fact that our squad is not anywhere near strong enough. When you look through our team, the first 11, I think, competes really well. But when they have to play every single game, when players like Declan Rice are having to play every minute, Saliba's having to play every minute, Gabriel has to come in even if he's injured, Saka has to play through injury, then I think there's just a point you get to where you realise we don't have the options off the bench. When Arteta did make the changes, attack-minded changes as they were, Trossard and Gabby Jesus coming on. But Gabby Jesus is another one who's going to take a lot of criticism, just was not sharp enough. We gave the ball away too much. We didn't use it well enough. I thought we started the game well, keeping hold of possession, but there was no incision at all. And so it's been a really dreadful last week. You know, the 2-2 draw against Bayern Munich, you could still take some hope from. The first half against Aston Villa was promising. The second half was abject. And today was just more of the same. So where do we go from here? Of course, people are starting to call for Arteta's head. There seems to be a growing number of our fan base who just are so frustrated that we're close and not looking like winning that they really do want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. For me, I think this is a summer issue. We need to be strengthening. But we should have learned some lessons from last season. Arteta should have learned that you need to rotate the squad more. And against teams that we could comfortably beat, we should be playing our bench. And when you look at the players that aren't getting trusted on the bench, the likes of Fabio Vieira, Eddie Nketiah, who did come on, although, I mean, was anyone expecting him to make a difference? Reece Nelson, who's just not been in it this season at all. Emil Smith-Rowe, who's looked good when he's come on, but not been given a chance. Of course, in the run-up to this game, Zinchenko was the persona non grata of the Arsenal team. Everybody saying that he wasn't defensively strong enough. I think most people were pleased to see Tomiyasu come in. But even there, to be honest with you, Tomiyasu looked a little off the pace. Odegaard, arguably our best player, always looking to do something with it, but even he wasn't quite there. And I really feel as though if we're going to fix the problems we have, then some things that I talked about at the end of last season do need to change. Arteta really does have to learn from this. You need to rotate players throughout the season to keep them fresh for April, because we cannot go another April falling apart. I am worried about a game against Wolves because of what this kind of energy-sapping defeat could do to us. We don't seem to trust our academy players at all, even though there are one or two in there that look incredibly promising. So when you're not using your substitutes quite well enough, or if you don't seem to have the options that you trust from the bench, if you haven't rotated through the season and you leave players fatigued, and when it gets to the big games, you don't have a plan B to speak of. Although saying that, I wasn't really sure what our plan A was. We were looking like we were a goal up or something, and we were trying to hold out and stop them scoring. And I think overall, defensively, we are nearly there or thereabouts as a Champions League side and as a Premier League winning team. but we do need some attacking flair. When you look at the other teams that are in, when you look at the teams that did make the semi-final, there is an embarrassment of riches. Even this Bayern Munich side, I mean, when you think that Serge Gnabry was out, Kingsley Coman was out, and yet they're still able to bring in players at the highest order. That's where we need to get to. So it's going to have to be a big summer. I think we did the right thing in bringing in Declan Rice. Of course, it's sad we didn't see more of Jurrien Timber. And Kai Havertz, who will take a lot of abuse for his performance tonight, particularly where he squandered the chances he did. But we need to augment and we need to strengthen. 3 or 4 players have to come into this side just to give us options in attack. And let's be realistic, 3 or 4 have to go. Because for me, Fabio Vieira, Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Thomas Partey. Where are you going with Thomas Partey? I mean, the fact is, we had to play the first 11 pretty much all season, and this run that we had this year came tellingly after the rest period in Dubai, and absent another opportunity to rest in the same way, we haven't looked like recovering our strength against teams that really do know how to win at this level, and we don't yet. We're still inexperienced. That will grow. I'm not calling for Arteta's head, and I don't think many of you are, but let me know in the comments if you really do feel this is time to call time on Arteta's reign. And then I'd come back at you with the same question again. Who do you bring in? I believe in this project. I believe in this process, and I'm tired of people telling me that they don't want to hear about it. You don't build a Champions League winning team in 3 or 4 seasons. Nobody does. Pep didn't. Alex Ferguson didn't. I think the teams that stick by the process get there in the end. And I know that there's a lot of you out there that don't want to hear that. They want it right now. It's just the way things are now. You're an Arsenal fan. You think we deserve to be winning everything. And it just isn't that way at the moment. Of course, ending this season without a trophy would be a bitter pill to swallow. But it's not there yet. We're not there yet. We haven't found that out yet. Man City, of course, went out to Real Madrid, albeit on penalties, despite having total dominance of the game. They came up against a team that knows how to eke out a result, just like we did. And these are teams, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, who've been there time and time again. And let's not forget, this is our first time in the Champions League for 7 years. I am proud of the team. I said before the game, whatever happens tonight, I'm proud of what they've achieved in getting us there, and I don't think we should lose sight of that. Obviously, let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. And if you are somebody who wants to get really angry about this performance, then I would cordially invite you to a live debate where we can discuss this like real fans and maybe come to some agreement or not. But I think if you want to air your views, if you think I'm completely wrong in supporting this manager, this team that's gotten so far but not quite all the way, then please do drop a comment, get in touch. I'll leave my email address and the Gooner channel below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to debate you, because I honestly feel like when we're disappointed, we look for someone to blame. And sometimes there just isn't. Sometimes you look at young players who've given everything they've got and don't have quite enough, and you can be angry with them, or you can get behind them and hope that they turn it around. Hope that there's still some way of us winning the Premier League. Who knows? Manchester City with an FA Cup game in the weekend don't play. Perhaps if we can win that game against Wolves and once again get our noses in front, perhaps we can stay out in front. But I think we need to start talking about rotating, and I think we need to start talking about giving other players a chance and giving some of the key players a rest. And I know that every game is really important, but it comes down to, do you want to see players at 80% fitness playing, however good they are, or do you want to see players slightly less good than them playing who are 100% fit and perhaps have the energy to go through the full 90 minutes? Because by the end of the game against Bayern, I thought we were running on empty. So, Bayern 1, Arsenal 0, Champions League disappointment. Quarterfinals was, I think, the minimum expectation of most fans. We've achieved that, though no one's going to be really happy about it because we came so close to the semis. And what a semi that would have been against Real Madrid. Perhaps next season. I'm gutted, and I'm going to leave it at that. But as I said, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you could, smash a like on this video. It makes all the difference. And until I see you again, be lucky. Lots of love.